in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna give you a rundown of exactly what is remote sales. So by the end of this video, you're gonna have a full understanding of exactly how it works, what are the types of products that you'd be selling, and what are the types of businesses that you would be a remote sales rep for. Because if you're working in a traditional sales role, recruitment, tech sales, software sales, insurance, brokering, business development, door-to-door, car sales, or real estate, your existing sales skills are worth 3 to 5 times more per month if you were to make the pivot and sell in this industry. The reason that I know that to be true is I'm a prime example. I went from working my corporate sales job up in London, busting my ass, 200 hours per month, cold calling, outbound dialing, prospecting, to only be making 5K per month take home after tax. On top of that, waiting 3 months for my deals to close, being taxed through the roof and having 28 days of holiday. But when I made the pivot into selling within this industry, I started clearing 20 to 30,000 per month in commissions. And it's not just me, I've helped hundreds of sales reps now make the pivot from traditional sales roles into the remote sales space, where they're now clearing 10 to 40,000 a month in commissions. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. I'm gonna break down everything you're gonna need to know about remote sales over the next 10 minutes. Let's dive into my computer and I'll run you through it all. So, what is remote sales? Remote sales, very simply, is the exact same as what you're doing now. However, you are a sales rep for an online business owner where you're selling high-ticket digital products or services priced anywhere between 3,000 to 40,000 in price point. Now, a few examples of this are property masterminds, e-commerce mentorships, Amazon FBA mentorships, fitness mentorships, AI agency services, business coaching mentorship, sales mentorship, trading mentorship, AI trading algorithm, and B2B services and packages. And a few examples of business owners that have these types of businesses, you probably recognize a few people. Iman Gadzi, B2B and SMMA mentorship. So about 3 years ago, Iman Gadzi used to have a social media marketing agency mentorship that he sold for $3,000 and he needed remote sales reps for. He now has a B2B mentorship. And there you can see, that's his B2B mentorship now. It's 8-figure licensing where effectively it's a 25K price point. Alex Hormozi used to sell fitness packages for 28K to gym owners, and he had a remote sales team for it. Now he does B2B, where effectively he works with business owners that are looking to scale up their business. Packages from 50K, 100K, 250K. Grant Cardone, the king of real estate and sales. He used to have a sales mentorship at 5K and 25K. Now he's got real estate mentorships ranging from 50,000 upwards of 100,000 in price points. And again, a few other examples. Will Brown, he does B2B consulting and services. He teaches people how to build and scale a coaching business. He charges 5K, 10K, and 45K for this to scale them to 50K a month, 100K a month, 250K a month, $500,000 a month. Cardinal Mason has a copywriting mentorship, helping people get into copywriting where they can earn 5, 10, 15, 20,000 a month online from copywriting. And he charges 6,000 for it in terms of his mentorship. And again, he needs remote sales reps. Corvato, they're an AI trading algorithm company where effectively what they offer is done for you hands-off trading to people that don't want to do manual trading, where they can basically deploy capital and an AI bot, an AI trading system will basically do the trading for them. They charge 15K to 32K for this. And those are a few examples of business owners that need remote sales reps and you could be a remote sales rep for. Because there's 2 different ways that these businesses get leads, get traffic, get prospects, get calls. It's either organic or it's paid. Let me run you through how it works. So organic, basically how it would typically work is a prospect will effectively DM the business owner, perhaps on Instagram. It may be Facebook, it may be another social media platform, but typically Instagram. They're interested in joining the mentorship, whether it be a fitness, property mentorship, learn more about AI trading algorithms or whatever it may be. And the business owner will have an appointment setter that's running the DMs. They're too busy, they don't do their own DMs. They hire an appointment setter who sits in their DMs all day, qualifies people, has conversations, and if they're a good fit, they'll ask them a few questions. Why do they want to get into the business model? What are their goals? What do they need help with? Because ultimately, if you're looking to get into services, products, or coaching, you need help with something. And if they feel that their product or service can help, they will send them across a link to book in a call to speak with a consultant, i.e. a sales rep, who will tell them more about the coaching program. They'll send across the link and they will book in the call. And as a remote sales rep, you take the warm inbound 45-minute call with these prospects who are looking to join the mentorship product or service that you're selling. As you can see, it's a warm inbound call. They've messaged you, they've been qualified, and they end up in your calendar. Paid, nice and simple, pretty much the same. They'll watch an ad. Once they watch the ad, they'll click the link. It will take them typically to a free training that will explain more about the service or product. If they like what they hear and they're interested to hear more, they'll fill out a form and they'll book in a call to hear more about the product or service. Again, as a remote sales rep, you're taking the warm inbound 45-minute sales call with the person who's already interested in buying the coaching program, product or service you're selling, and you close them on the call. Nice and simple. So that is the sales process of these companies and for you as a remote sales rep. Now, your responsibility as a remote sales rep is very, very simple. Take the 45-minute warm inbound video sales calls that are booked in your calendar. You set your own calendar. You're a contractor, you're self-employed, you set your own calendar. You make 10 to 15% commission per call that you close. You have uncapped commissions and you're 100% remote. And again, just a few examples of basically what it looks like. This is taken from me when I was a remote sales rep myself, making 20 to 30,000 a month. There's me out in Marbella taking video sales calls. That was what my calendar looked like when I was a remote sales rep. As you can see, I used to sell an Airbnb coaching program. It was one of the ones I used to sell. 5K, 10K, and a 35K price point. I'd make 500, 1,000 to 3,500 per call that I closed on that offer, and those are the calls that I used to take per day for everyone that I closed. And this was me closing an $8,000 deal where I made 800 commission on that 45-minute call. And again, you set your own hours based on your availability, so you can do it alongside your 9 to 5 and all that sort of stuff. Really simple. Now, let me give you two examples of potential earnings you can make as a remote sales rep. Really, really simple. So let's say you're working a 9 to 5 sales job. A lot of you probably work in this, are in recruitment, tech sales, software sales. So let's say you're working a 9 to 5 sales role. So you work 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. You would land a remote sales role with a USA-based online business. So you can take advantage of time zones. So you take calls from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. UK time. That's a total of 4 calls per evening. Let's say 3 of them show up. You're taking 15 per week. That's 60 calls per month. An average closer will close at 25%. I used to close at 50%. Most of the guys inside Capital close at 40%. But let's be conservative, 25%, which is terrible, by the way. 25% of 60 calls you take on the side of your 9-5, that's 15 deals closed in a month. Let's say you're selling a 5K product or service. You're making 10% commission per call you close. That's 500 per call you close. 500 times 15 equals 7,500 made on the side of your 9 to 5 sales role. By taking calls on the side, as I mentioned, it's as simple as that. Now, to give you an example, this is Harry Ward. He was an account executive at one of the best cybersecurity companies in the UK, and he was making around 5.5 thousand per month as an account executive at 23 years old. But he realized he was in the wrong industry. He was capped. He had long sales cycle, high tax rate, 28 days of holiday, and he had no freedom. So what we did, like everyone inside Capital Closer, he did it alongside his 9 to 5 sales role to begin with, taking calls in the evening. We placed him onto a role after we trained him how to properly sell within the industry, placed him on a role, took calls in the evenings and on the weekends. And as you can see, proof over promises, that is all I care about. Big thing for me is proof over promises. He made 8.9K on the side of his 9-5. Those are his bank statements and his transactions. As you can see, check out their member interview if you haven't seen that already. Bang. Now let's look at a second example. So let's say you're full-time in remote sales now at this point. You've made the pivot fully out of your traditional sales role. You're now full-time, which means obviously you can set your own calendar. So you can take calls from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can take calls from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can choose your own calendar because at the end of the day, you're full-time, you set your own calendar and you can work from wherever you want. Whether that be Marbella, Greece, Portugal, Spain, the UK, France, America, wherever you want to go. So let's say you take 8 calls per day. 40 sales calls per week, let's say 30 of them show up, that's 120 per month that you're taking. Let's say you close at just 35%. Because you've been in the industry a bit longer, let's say you're now closing at 35% because you're more skilled, you understand how it works and you've got better. 35%. 35% of 120 equals 42 closed in a single month. Let's say you're selling a 5K product or service, $500 per call that you close, 500 times 42 equals 21,000 in commissions made in a single month being full-time in remote sales. Whilst working 100% remote, closing warm inbound leads, setting your own schedule, being paid 100% for your performance. And this is an example of it happening in real time. Hugo Sadler, in the space of 98 days since our first conversation, ex-recruitment out in Dubai, it took him 0 to 98 days to clear 10,000 in a single month in commissions in remote sales. It took him 109 days since our first ever call where he knew nothing about remote sales to clear 20,000 in a single month in commissions. We trained and coached him to help him master selling in the industry, and we placed him onto 2 different remote sales roles that he was doing at the same time, because you're able to do that because it's your own business effectively. You can have multiple clients if you want. You can be closing for one client and another client. It's completely up to you, and we'd advise you on that inside Capital Closer. And as you can see, proof over promises. In his first full month in remote sales, he made 23,500 in commissions in a single month. Receipts, proof over promises. Thank you very much indeed. And look, I get it. If you're a 9 to 5 sales guy, you might be thinking, surely it's too good to be true. But the truth is it's not. Because this is exactly what allowed me to transition out of my 9 to 5 sales job where I had capped commissions, high tax rate, long sales cycle, long career progression, and a lack of freedom. As you can see there, that was me back in my corporate sales job, making 3, 4, 5K a month. Everyone around me saying, you're doing well, Connor, you've got a 6-figure salary and all of this bullshit. But I felt trapped. I felt like I was so far away from where I wanted to be and I wasn't living up to my potential. And that is exactly the reality for me for nearly 3 years. To transitioning to selling online for some of the biggest coaching businesses in the space and being the top performing sales rep I was on every single month after month for 2.5 years straight, and clearing 20 to 30,000 per month in commissions from closing deals from my laptop. And again, proof over promises. I'm going to show you proof because that's what I'm always going to do. A lot of people online like to talk shit, but here is the proof. Here's the bank statement, so you understand the money you're missing out on by staying in your 9 to 5 sales role. There's me top of the leaderboard. There's my $21,878 made in my first full month. $21,878 made. That was me mapping out how I was going to make 10K a month when I was going to leave my corporate sales job, and there's me taking a call out looking at the Burj Al Arab. First full month commissions tracker, as you can see, bang. As you can see, that was me out in Saint-Tropez taking a call on the top of a couple of pillows. Second month's commission tracker, as you can see, those are the calls that were booked in my diary, and those are the commissions at the bottom of the screen. And again, me closing a 35K deal, I made 15% commission on this. Me closing a 9.4K deal, 15% commission. 35K deal, 15% commission. 35K deal, 15%. And on and on and on and on. Me at top of the leaderboard, me making 30,000 a month in commissions. And as you can see, this allowed me to go to Dubai, Portugal, Saint-Tropez, Marbella, Ibiza again. And look, here's a quick look at what these calls actually look like, okay?
Okay. Cool. Time frame wise, obviously I know you keep talking, it doesn't.
So he's just deciding now, basically I've dropped the investment that it's £6,000, he's umming and ahhing, he wants to go away and think about it.
Had your fingers a little bit burning. Cool, okay.
3, 2.
Well, let's just move forward then, because I'm going to be here.
Basically objection handled him, basically helped him realise that he needs to do this and sort of went for a bit of identity selling and whatnot. As you can see there, closed a £6,000 deal and made £600 in commission for that 45-minute sales call that was booked into my calendar. That was a property offer, by the way. Here's another property offer, me closing a £4,000 deal, I made £400 commission in a 45-minute sales call.
Yes, you settle and yes. It's all that. It's about taking accountability. At the end of the day, it comes down to sort of that whole sort of concept of, like you mentioned, you're earning a decent wage. It comes down to, do you want to take decent for the rest of your life, or do you want to be great? It's a just approach to it now. Yes, Monday night, I've just spoken to someone over the course of 45 minutes and transferred £4,000.
They're £400 made in a 45-minute sales call. And that is remote sales. So if you're working in a traditional sales role and you're tired of being capped, only making 5K per month, having the capped commissions, the long sales cycle, the long career progression ahead of you, the 28 days of holiday, the 10 to 15 hour per week commute, and you're looking for the next thing where you can use the existing skill set you already have to make a pivot into an industry where you can earn upwards of 20, 30, 40,000 a month. I'm telling you right now, remote sales is your best bet. Now, if you want help with all of this front to back, not only hands-on training, one-to-one coaching to be able to master selling in this industry, because it's two very different sales processes. You're not just going to walk in and be able to actually be good. You need training and coaching. There's a reason why they pay 10, 20, 30, 40,000 a month to these sales reps in these industries. You have to be talented. You have to be good. Just because you play football doesn't mean you're going to get a trial at an academy. It's the same thing here. The best sales reps understand it's a very different sales process. If you want help with the hands-on training and coaching and you want direct placement onto one of these sales roles that can pay you 10, 20, 30, 40,000 a month, there'll be a link down below. Fill it out, answer the questions, and if you're a good fit, you'll be able to book in a call with myself or my team, and we'll see if we can help you make the pivot and get to that 10, 20, 30, 40,000 a month in commissions like we have for hundreds of other traditional sales reps. I'll see you in the next video.